Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Making 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 14 of What If Naruto was sent to a parallel multiverse. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode, well the final episode of What If Naruto had the deadliest bloodline on this channel. And over and making 2 I posted last episode as well of What If Naruto infect himself with the virus. And over and making, yeah, it's the last episode as well. I posted What If Naruto went insane with a new bloodline. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. Remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode start? The intro. So the last spot we left off, as Naruto fake is injured, given the fact that he was rather badly blown up by Deidara's bomb, while the real Naruto had made his way off as he was able to free Katsume's soul from the Nine Tails as he finally reunite with her after all this time, as the both of them were more than happy enough to see each other, as they spend the time together as Naruto had shifted into the snow dimension, as his body was too weak to teleport back there that easily. As he spoke to her about everything that happened, he could not reunite her with her body yet because his eyes had not fully returned and his power was weakened. So, she had to wait. Well, she had waited this long, as she was just glad that she was now here with him, which Naruto was glad for as well. So with that, Naruto made his way. He returned back to the village. Once he was close enough, he swapped places with the clone as he put on a big show, trying to act like he was recovering. As Hinata was slapped by Hanabi when she talked about Naruto badly even after the state that he was in. Minato did not take Naruto's almost death lightly. Deidara was trapped as Minato proceeded to beat the living crap out of him, losing his control over his emotion there, but he was so angry. As he dragged the man back to the village so his mind can be probed about the information. As Naruto was back in the hospital, everyone was shocked to see him back on his feet as everyone came by, as they couldn't believe it. After all those injuries, and Kushina and Mito was there crying. Tsunade had told them that it was a 50% chance of him dying, but this was new, now that he was back on his feet. Some time passed after that as Naruto became a Chunin. As he returned back to Archive for some more information, something was happening with the Uchihas, as he had slept over with Sahara. As Naruto woken up in the night as he saw there was a meeting going on with the Uchihas, with Mikoto leading it, as Mikoto had a Mangekyo Sharingan. That was shocking as all the other Uchihas that were there had their Sharingan. Itachi had a Mangekyo and a girl beside him had a Mangekyo as well. It was then that she went through Hansen and summoned someone, Shisui. As Naruto was surprised by that, he thought that he committed suicide. Something was going on, something big, but he couldn't hear them as he returned back. They returned back to the compound as they spoke about Sahara, but Sahara's involvement depended on Naruto, as Mikoto knew that Sahara was incredibly close to Naruto, so she had to make sure that the girl would not spill everything to Naruto and get him in any danger, because if he was to spill everything right now, when they were not ready to enact their plan, well, they will have to kill him. As Naruto find all of this rather amusing, him and Katsumi decide to stay back and watch as everything play out in front of them. The show was rather amusing as he regained his power. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check over yourself. Remember to check out the finals. Yes guys, today is the finals because all of the episodes I did over the other channels came to an end, but new what ifs are coming up. I did a final episode of What If Naruto Went Insane, What If Naruto infected himself with the virus, and also What If Naruto had the deadliest bloodline, so go ahead and enjoy that. All you know guys, just sit back, relax, because new series are coming up soon for you guys to enjoy, so yeah. Without further ado, I'm out for now. What is we get straight into this? Let's start right away. We begin this episode at an unknown location. A rather powerful meeting was going on. The reason why the meeting was so powerful was because of the people that were currently taking part in it. As there was 3 Kages. One of them being Yagura, who went to the finals of the Chunin exams of Konoha. The other one being Oniki, as he was still the Tishikage in his old age. The other one was Raikage, A, as the man stood there in his powerful stature. The 3 of them were currently having a meeting. After all, Deidara attacking Konoha was not planned by any random idiot. It seems like your ninja failed. He hasn't been my ninja in a very long while, said Oniki as he looked towards Raikage. You were the one that hired his services in secret. And yet, here we have a witness as both men turn towards Yagura. Konoha is still number 1, even after the little spat, if you might call it that, a spat that Deidara caused. He's not wrong, said Yagura. I told you all I would be there myself. With me having no interaction with Minato, he wouldn't suspect a thing. As for the ninjas of the village, we were right to keep an eye on that boy. His son is something else. Ever since we heard about the death of Zabuza, that the boy had helped his sensei with, I knew that something was wrong there. Zabuza should be able to easily slaughter that Uchiha and any other that crossed his path. It was the reason I gave him this mission. As Yagura revealed it, after all it was a lie. Zabuza was not a missing name. Neither was Kisame. Both men was working for Yagura, as he had released some ninjas under the pretenses of being missing names, all in the hope of crushing Konoha. Although Deidara was a missing name, as he could not abide by Onki rule. At least he was dead now. Even though Konoha will get their hands on some of his brain information, something that really angered Onki, as the village will only use it to get stronger. Ace slammed his fist in the table. We cannot allow this to go on. Konoha has been scouting outer borders. We know they're the ones that have been attacking and causing mayhem in our countries. The group seemed to have figured that out. After all, they were allied with each other. It wasn't well known. After all, no one knew this except for the 3 of them. It was a secret, pretending to be at each other's throats, to catch Konoha off guard. And they were not the ones attacking each other. It was Konoha in secret, to weaken their defenses, to bring them down. That Minato, always smiling and always looking calm, he was a clever, tricky bastard. What were you saying about his son, said A. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. I don't know what he is, but he's able to perform ice release like it's nothing. What? Is he from your village? No, that's the thing. The son of that man is so powerful he was able to change the very atmosphere by releasing his chakra. You're joking, right? Said Onki. I am not. I don't know what is happening with that child, but he's definitely not normal. Deidara attack hit him full on. His whole chest cavity was ripped open. From what I see, he was good as dead, but yet, somehow, after mere hours, he was declared alive and fine. Not even a mere scratch. No one can explain it. From what I can see from where I am, that boy is not normal. He holds power that could threaten all our nations. A was shocked by a mere glance. You have witnessed this, he said. I was there. I felt the chakra the boy released. It did not feel normal in any way. It felt unbalanced, disturbed, twisted, cold, dark. It seems like his own parents doesn't even know the power that he possesses. He was able to change the atmosphere before Deidara interrupted. People nowadays, especially young ones, do not have the ability to do something like that. I had an eye on him ever since I heard that he killed Zabuza with his sensei. It seems I was correct to keep an eye on him. If we are ever going to bring down that village, Konoha powerful ninjas need to die, starting with that boy first. We cannot allow him to get any stronger, because if he does, I'm afraid that this little skirmish that Minato is starting won't end until all 4 villages are bowing before the land of fire. Never, he said. The stone will never bow, neither will a cloud, said the Raikage, neither will the water. That is why we must crush Konoha and their ninjas. Piece by piece we must pick them apart until there is nothing left, starting with Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Meanwhile, small steady footsteps could be heard as a person was walking down a dark chamber before they came to a stop. In the room sitting down was none other than Mikoto Uchiha. The man that stood there was the same man at the exam, but this time his face was not being hidden. As the man focused on Mikoto, she was the one that he was talking over the comms to. So, sister, he said, I hope there wasn't a problem with Zetsu. No, he took my place perfectly, said Mikoto, as she had a file in her hand, as she placed on the table. What more have you found out about Naruto, he said. As the man had long dark hair, his eyes were dark like Mikoto's. His features resembled Uchiha. But he didn't seem to be a part of the clan, because his face has never been seen in Konoha. But there was something about him that seemed hidden, and not to mention he looked like someone from the past. But Mikoto focused on the file. After all, she knew him. He was her brother. The man opened up the file. As I expected. You did? Oh, I forgot to tell you, I confronted him. You what? Does he know who you are? No. I was hidden in an illusion. But the funniest thing happened. His eyes. I know I'm not mistaken, but for a moment I saw his eyes switch into something that far surpassed ours. What do you mean? You remember the legends from the past about the eyes that the Ten-Tail possess? Yes. The Renya Sharingan, if I'm not mistaken, she said. Exactly. Wait, Naruto has them? Exactly. I'm sure I'm not mistaken. Before he sent me flying, I saw a mere glimpse of them. I've been racking my brains about them ever since. Wait, let me get this straight. You mean Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze has the most powerful eyes in existence? How is that even possible, she said. I do not know. I was wondering if you can tell me. How the hell should I know, said Mikoto, as she frowned. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? At the moment, I'm not sure. He decided not to fight me there. He was after something, but the Nine-Tails, as you said, is still there, right? Yes, Minato said that the shrine was attacked, but the Nine-Tails is still there. But I'm not sure what he took. Did you see anything, said Mikoto. No, I left before the Uzumakis arrived. He, on the other hand, was able to push me out of there. The abilities of the Rinnegan, she asks. Exactly. So you're telling me that he also possessed all of those? It's the Renya Sharingan, what do you expect? Sorry, I'm just baffled. I mean, it's not possible. Think about it. Remember what you told me. What? That he suddenly changed? Yes, his attitude. Sahara told me about him. That his attitude just flipped. At first she was concerned, but he was not showing any negative signs, so she stopped worrying about it. But it seems she should be worried, because none of this makes any sense. What do you think, she asks. I'm not sure myself, but this is definitely something interesting that we can go on. Zetsu rose up with the ground at that moment. Did you heard? Said Zetsu as he looked towards Mikoto. Yes. Do you really think something like this can happen? She asks. I'm not sure how, said Zetsu. But you know the boy. You're gonna have to try to make him confide in you. And how am I gonna do that without blowing our secrets? I can't just ask him about it. You're his best friend, mother. Ask him how he's feeling, how he's doing. See if he can give you anything, even a small piece of information to see. If we're dealing with something unnatural here, what do you mean unnatural? Well, considering that he was just a normal kid until this strange occurrence happened. Oh, you mean with the surge of chakra? Yes. Everyone seemed to have blown over that, but you do remember when Konoha was hit with that unnatural chakra that you sense? Yes, said Mikoto. Do you believe that he has anything to do with this? Could the awakening of his eyes trigger that? Asked the man as he stood there. I'm not sure, said Zetsu. But we're gonna have to find out more. The man nodded as he turned towards Mikoto. How is Shisui part of the plan coming along? It's coming along quite well, she said. I recently spoke to him. The Uchihas are ready to move any time. Soon, the man said. We will take what is ours, and then we will change this world by bringing her back. Mikoto nodded. Yes, we will, she said. Time skip at Konoha. As Naruto was, well, surprised. Mikoto had sent for him by one of the Uchihas, saying that she wanted to talk. From his entire time being here, she has never sent for him to talk yet, so this was rather surprising. He wasn't sure where Sahara was as he stepped into the compound. As he saw the Uchihas looking at him, he greeted them with a friendly smile. As he simply made his way, perhaps she liked younger guys, and she's after your body, said Katsumi. Well, if that is the case, said Naruto, it's a very bad way to go about it. I mean, your daughter's best friend. Perhaps she's just that kind of mom, said Katsumi. That would be amusing, said Naruto. Definitely, it would surely spice things up a bit. As Naruto arrived, as he entered, as Mikoto's voice called out to him, as he entered in the living room, to see her walking in with a cup of tea, as she placed it down. Ah, Naruto, she said with a smile. Yes, Mikoto-san, she said. Oh, just call me Mikoto, she said. Well, said Katsumi. Call her Mikoto. The next thing you know, you're bending her over on this table and taking her right here. As Naruto chuckled in his mind, as he sat down with a smile. I'm surprised that you called, he said to her. Well, I was merely concerned about your health, she said, as she looked him over, after all. You just recovered recently, and I was wondering if you're still in good shape, she asked. If there's any side effects. After all, you're like a son to me, she said, and I'm worried about your health. Is that so, said Naruto. Of course, she said. My daughter would be very displeased if anything happened to you. Oh, you don't have to worry about that, said Naruto. I'm just fine. As she looked him over. Yes, you seem that way. Here we go, said Katsumi. She's about to strip your clothes off. As Naruto laughed in his head, as he drank some of the tea. As Naruto felt a strange sensation. You feel that? Said Katsumi. Yeah, said Naruto, what is it? I'm not sure, but I know what he's trying to do though. He's trying to subtly calm your mind to allow her words to pass through as suggestions for you to complete. So she's trying to get answers out of me, said Naruto. Exactly. Why don't you play the part? You know I'm gonna do that already, said Naruto. Let's see how far she take this. What if she really wants to rape me, said Naruto. As Katsumi laughed in his mind, making Naruto laugh as well, as they found this rather amusing, as he was not sure what she was up to after his discovery of her running some kind of Uchiha cult. And not to mention she had the Mangekyo Sharingan. Mikoto on the other hand decided to do this a bit different from what Zetsu suggested. She would get the answers willingly or forcefully if she had to. First, she would try the tea. There was a calming agent in it that would allow her to subtly get information from him. As she placed a hand on his hand, Are you feeling okay, Naruto? She asked. Using a bit of her seduction skills, she would be able to get him calm and relax. Yes. I'm feeling quite fine, said Naruto, as he smiled cheerfully. She saw that it was working. Is there any wound from your scar on your chest, she asked. Is there anything left? No, it's all gone, said Naruto. Will you happen to know how you were able to heal so fast? Huh? Asked Naruto smirk. I'm not sure, he said. You don't? Come on, you must know something, she said. I mean, you're a very special boy. After all, recently you've been able to do some special things that no one else can. Use an ice release in the arena. How were you able to use that? I know about your new powers coming your way. You told your father that you don't know, but she's scooting closer to him. You can tell me. I won't tell anyone else. You won't, said Naruto, as he motioned for her to come closer. As she did. Tell me, she said. As Naruto leaned in and kissed her, she backed away instantly. That's not what I meant, she said. Realized that her tea must have been too suggestive for his young mind. Perhaps she took it a bit too far. Her skills with seduction and, not to mention, the tea was making him rather elusive. Meanwhile, Naruto and Katsumi were laughing their ass off at the whole scene, seeing her face turn red at him kissing her. That was priceless, said Katsumi, as Mikoto looked towards him. As she saw Naruto's eyes drooping, she didn't want to awaken her Mangita Sharingan, and for him to actually have the Renny Sharingan, that would just screw things up if he were able to find out. So she decided to go in subtle first. She activated her Sharingan, as she did not look directly in his eyes. As she made the ear, casting again jutsu the ear around him, everything felt so more cool and calm. She made his body felt stress-free. As she pushed her eyes a bit further, activating the Mangekyou, his senses felt calm and simmer. Her daughter would be home soon, so she had to do this quickly. As she saw him relaxing in the couch. Now, Naruto-kun, she said, you recently made your way down towards where the Nine-Tailed Fox was located. Would you mind telling me why did you go down there, she said. Well, this is new, said Naruto. What is it, Katsumi? I forgot to tell you there was this guy that interfered with me unsealing you. I blasted him through the hole though, but he came back undisturbed by my gravitational force. So it seems that the both of them are somehow working together. So you're saying that this woman is already branching out of the village? It seems that way. Hey, is it that Shisui guy, she asks. No, it's not Shisui. The Uchiha I saw was, well, I'm not sure who it was, but he was suppressing his power quite a lot. He's a strong one. Somehow she's in cahoots with him. Well now, things are getting interesting. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mikoto-san, said Naruto. Come on, no Naruto. I told you don't have to lie to me. I know that you are there. Why exactly did you go down there? You can tell me. I'm a friend. You want to know, said Naruto, why I went down there to the Nine-Tails? Yes. Something was calling out to me. Huh? What do you mean, she said. I'm not sure. Alright then, tell me. Who was in the hospital if you were down there? I thought you were blown up by the bomb. It happened so fast, and one moment I was there, the next moment I was not. Someone swooped in and flashed me away. I'm not sure who it was, said Naruto. And they dropped me in the strange tunnel. But you faced someone, didn't you? And you blew him through the wall. Why did you do that? I have no recollection of doing that. I felt strange, like someone was in control of my body, and I was unable to control myself. You were being controlled? Yes. It was a man. Or a woman, I'm not sure the gender. They had these weird red eyes with black markings in it. Wait, were there concentric circles in the eyes? Yes, exactly. With a lot of black markings like Sahara Sharingan. Mikoto narrowed her eyes. So someone was controlling him. Someone swept him away before all of this happened. She knew that Naruto could not lie to her with the state that he was in. So someone was doing this, that is why her brother saw. The Ren Sharingan in his eyes, he was being controlled. That meant someone else was out there, doing things that they were unaware of. She clenched her fists as she heard the door open. Mom? Mom? She instantly deactivated her jutsu as she touched Naruto and sent a spike of chakra through him to release him off the tea. As Naruto jolted up, as he looked around confused. We're in here, darling. Mikoto-san, said Naruto. Oh, you seem to have drifted off there. Mom? Naruto? What are you doing here? Said Sahara. I came over to visit you, said Naruto, as he felt the subtle genjutsu that Mikoto was trying to place on him. So he just went along with it. But you weren't here, so I decided to wait and have a chat with your mom. Oh, what about? She asked. Oh, nothing important. She was just asking about my health. You have a really good mom here, said Naruto with a smile. Of course I do, said Sahara, as she smiled towards her mother. So, what made you swing by? Well, I haven't gotten a good sparring session down lately. How about we get to it? He asked. Sure thing, she said, as Naruto got up to his feet. See you later, Mikoto-chan, he said, as she nodded. Chan? You call my mom Chan now? Said Sahara. She said I could, said Naruto, as Mikoto realized that the tea must have affected him more than she thought, as he turned around and gave her a smile. A rather strange smile, like he liked her now. She sighed, but this could be good. This could be good, as she sat there in the couch. But several things were not adding up. When her brother told her that Naruto was down there and not in the hospital, she was shocked. And now to find out that he was being controlled by someone, well, this was a tricky situation. It turns out like her brother and Zetsu was wrong. He didn't have the Ren Sharingan. He was being controlled by one. So that meant she could still control him with hers. It all made sense now. He was an important person after all. He was the son of Minato. Those markings on his body. Everything was making sense to her now. But who was it? Who was the one controlling him? She was not sure. This could be bad. Did someone send him here to spy on them? She didn't know. She didn't even know how much he knew. She had to get him alone once again and dive deeper into his mind and find out everything and when it started and how it happened. She needed descriptions of this person. This would be bad for their planning. This would stop them from reawakening her, and they would not be stopped. They will reawaken her no matter what, said Mikoto to herself. Meanwhile, as Naruto was sparring with Sahara, his mind was different places though, as he easily dodged and blocked her punches. Well, this is interesting. She knew that you were down there, so she knew that you were lying to your parents. Not exactly, said Naruto. After all, she think I'm being controlled. Well, you did play that awfully well, said Katsumi. So what now? I'm gonna see how far I can push this, said Naruto. I'm not sure what is going on in this world yet, but something is happening that is gonna change this place, big time. Perhaps cause a bit of mischief and destruction, as Katsumi chuckled with a sly smile. Oh, and that would be welcome, she said, with a smirk, as Naruto dodged under her fists. As he saw Sahara's eyes, he stepped back. When did you got the other totem? He said. Recently, she said. You never saw me use them in the finals, so you never saw it. As she took a breath, we haven't got much time to talk since the incident. But now that we're both tunings, perhaps we can go to the mission together, she said. After all, the whole protecting merchant and all that has been boring. So we can request one, she said. Yeah, you're right, said Naruto. Or perhaps you just want to get me away from the village, to have me all to yourself. She chuckled at that. I already have you all to myself, she said, as Naruto tilted his head. Not like that, he said to her. What are you talking about? You're right here. as she came over and hugged him. See, I have you all to myself. Huh. She's such a kind girl. You need to protect this one, Naruto, said Katsumi. Huh? That is a first from you, said Naruto. Come on, look at her. She's a sweet, kind girl. And she cares a lot for you, even if she doesn't know it. She does, said Naruto. Well, not in that regard. She has feelings for you. Yeah, I've noticed that, said Naruto. But she doesn't think about that. She thinks that we're just friends. It would be a shame for you to break her heart. It would be quite terrible to watch. Since when did you gain a good conscience like this, said Naruto? I'm thinking about the future. Remember, she's a Uchiha. Her mother is an evil mastermind and all. And she will be a good pawn to be used, and not to mention, in a few years or so, she will grow. And she will get hot. And we can invite her to our bed. You're just excited to have a taste of the female flesh once again, aren't you, said Naruto. Well, I can have you anytime I want. But you know how enjoyable it is when we take someone and fully dominate them together. It's amazing. As Naruto's eyes drifted down towards Sahara, as he whispered in her ears, "You're a precious girl, Sahara," he said. She looked up towards him, as their face was strangely close, closer than she's ever been to him. Well, she kissed him before, but they never linger this long. Naruto, she said. Yeah? Do you want to kiss me? She asks. As Naruto blinked in surprise. Why do you say that? Well, we're so close. Do you want to kiss me? He asks. I already had you take my first kiss. So, there's not something as a second kiss, she said to him. Well, it doesn't have to be anything special. We never talked about something like this before. What's gone into you? She asks. As he shrugged. Perhaps it's you, he said. What did I do? Well, your arms are wrapped around my waist, said Naruto. And you're awfully close, and you're not separating from me. Perhaps I don't want to, she said to him. As Naruto narrowed his eyes. And tell me, Sahara, how does this make you feel? How do I feel? You're hugging me. And you're close to me and we're talking about kissing. But I'm not sure. How should I feel? As Naruto narrowed his eyes, she completely separated feelings from friendship. She leaned forward and kissed him out of the blue, surprising him as she pulled back. It was nice, she said to him. But I'm not sure what you're talking about. Ah, I get it, said Katsumi. What do you get, said Naruto. Think about it. You were there for her when her father died. When he was accused for being a murderer and her own brother had to kill him and put him down. It seems like she has linked onto you. Her psyche, that is. So, even while being so close to you, look at her face. She's barely blushing because to her it's just normal to be this close to you. Remember what you told me. She doesn't have a problem being almost completely nude around you. It's like in a way you're there but you're not. For once, I don't get it, said Naruto. Let me explain. It's not that you have full control over her. It's that her feelings towards you are all jumbled. She sees you as someone that is her protector and hero. After all, you are there for her in her weakest moments. But those feelings have turned into something of love and care. But she doesn't know how to express them, so she's not sure how to fully feel with herself when she gets all close and personal, even after kissing you. She doesn't understand what it fully means. She knows what is a kiss, but when you regard you, she's not sure how to react. I'm sure if it was someone else, you would see her acting all strange, but with you, it's like you're already together, because you've always been there for her. Think about it as you two already being married. Oh, said Naruto. So you're saying she's basically bonded to me? Exactly. It seems like her father's death mixed with her psyche more than anyone else thought, and you became her anchor. As Naruto looked down, Sahara? Yes, she said, as she was still holding on to him. What am I to you? Said Naruto. You're my best friend, she said. Someone very close to me, she said to him, as she leaned her head on his chest. The thought of me leaving you, how does that make you feel? She clenched her fists. I thought you were gonna die in the hospital, and I felt terrible, she said. I felt like I was going crazy. To know that I would never see you again, but you made it, and know you're alive. So we can be as close as possible if you want. It doesn't bother me, she said. And if you want to kiss some more, I don't have a problem with it. Because we're more than friends, right? We're special friends, so we can do these kind of things. You've been there for me since everything happened. And I don't want to lose you, she said to him. As Naruto stroked her hair, don't worry, he said. Everything's gonna be fine. She leaned up and kissed him once again. As she smiled. Alright then, she said. As Naruto watched her, she was perfectly fine. It's not like she was crazy or anything, but she was loyal to him in a way that made it seem crazy. But that was good for him. She was a loyal person. As Katsumi laughed, as she could already hear the cogs in Naruto's head turning. Who would have think, he said. Well then, said Katsumi. Shall we have some fun? Well, the fun is just beginning, said Naruto. It will soon get exciting. Time skip. This was Naruto's first mission as the team leader, seeing that he recently became Chunin. A three-man squad consists of Sahara, Kiba Inuzaka, who was a Genin, and Sakura Senju, who was a Chunin. As Sahara was also a Chunin, as Kiba was the only Genin on the squad, as he filled it, as it was Naruto's first mission. As the squad leader, they were supposed to bring a scroll to the land of Bear, to the leader of said village. Although the village was not far away from Konoha, it was a start. It was a sign of his leadership. But there was people in Konoha, well, spies, that heard about this so-called mission. After all, 3 nations wanted Konoha to crumble. And these said 3 nations had a lot of men, a lot of ninjas to spare. Constantly, spies are caught in Konoha, but they're mine. When they're caught, there's a seal placed on their brain that would instantly destroy it so it could not be read. That was the task they took on becoming a spy for the village that he worked for, so that no information would be brought back. There has been no attack on Naruto, because Minato had found out that the attack from Deidara was said to target all of Konoha. So sending Naruto in his first mission as a leader was not a bad thing. It was a chance to test his leadership skills. After all, he was a Chunin now. As the group made their way, the information was passed on about Naruto being on his first mission. As the ninjas were the closest, they were from Kiri, taking the sea moving towards the land of waves. They were able to get there rather quickly, discarding their headbands. After all, they could not be seen. Naruto was a prime target that needed to be executed. And another ninja was called as well. Someone that was pretending to be a missing nin. For the sake of his village, the man was loyal to a T, even as far going to be a missing nin, just like Zabuza. It was none other. As Naruto was moving through the trees with his team, as Kiba sniffed the air. Something's coming, he said, as the team dispersed from the air where they were, only to have a massive sword crash, tearing on the tree, as they all almost got hit. Someone appeared down below, as they gripped the sword in their hand. It was then that several more ninjas, from the opposite area, appeared out of nowhere. All of them, looking nondescript. Who the hell are you people? Said Sakura as she clenched her fists. Sahara narrowed her eyes as Kiba had Akamaru, his puppy, on his head. As he looked around, there was 3 of them. As laughter could be heard. So, you're the pipsqueak, huh? As Naruto remembered that laughter, a broad grin stretched on Naruto's face as he saw that face. Kisame, he said. It's good that you know me, said Kisame, with a smile as he looked towards Naruto. I like when my victims know me. As Sakura narrowed her eyes towards Naruto. This guy is no joke. He's a S-rank missing name from Kiri. We need to run. We can't take him on. Huh. Since when did you become such a coward, said Naruto. Look, this is not time to play games. This guy is deadly. If he's here for us, we'll all die. As much as she liked to say her skills were top-notch, she knew when she was out best. Naruto, she's right. Remember, they told us about this guy in the academy, about what he did. He is one of the most popular missing names from Kiri. The tailless tail beast. Shit, even I know this guy, said Kiba. But how can we outrun him? That's the thing, said Naruto. We can't. And not to mention, look behind him. Those ninjas will prevent us from running. What are we gonna do? Kill them, of course, said Naruto. And how the hell are we gonna do that, said Kiba. Enough mumbling, said Kisame. I'll make you a deal, kid. I will take your life and allow your comrades to flee. But if you try to run, I'll have my friends here slaughter all of them. So a trade, said Naruto. Me for them. That's simple. As he walked forward, Sahara grabbed his hand. As she was trembling, no, she said to him. It's a fair deal, said Naruto. I won't let him harm any of you. You'll die, she said. As Naruto gave her a smile. Sahara, I won't die. But Naruto, Sahara, look at me. I won't die. I promise you. I won't leave you, he said. She released a small sigh. Alright, she said. But her eyes activated as her 3 totem Sharingan narrowed. If anything happens, I'm jumping in. You won't have to, said Naruto. As Naruto pulled out the scroll and gave it to Sakura. Hold on to this for me. As much as we don't get along, this is suicide, she said. But if you don't do it, we're all gonna die. And the mission must come first. She clenched her fists, realized that her first mission with him as the leader was gonna end up with him getting killed. This was not good. As Naruto smiled at her, I'm tougher than I look. As he walked forward, Kiba cursed under his breath. So, Kisame, said Naruto. Cut me down. Sahara narrowed her eyes as she reached for her kunai. Kisame smiled. I always love a good sport, he said. As he raised his blade, Samehata started to flare around as the thing started to twist and dance. Kisame looked towards the blade. Samehata? As an overwhelming amount of chakra was released from Naruto, causing Samehata to basically squeal in delight. As the thing started to feast and feast and feast and feast, it became so large. Kisame stepped back with utter shock. He was known as a tailless tail beast, but this chakra was not normal. This far surpassed the smaller tail beasts. The power that this boy had rival. Perhaps this strong tail beasts, 6 going up. This didn't make any sense. Kisame was told that he was strong, but this even shocked Kisame to his core, as he's never felt such shock coming from a kid yet. And it was not that it was just large. It was incredibly dense and powerful. Samehata was squirting, swimming around as the thing was unable to keep quiet. It was too much, too dense, as Samehata could not stop. It was like a drug as Samehata was absorbing, as it became large. The sword dropped as it slammed into the ground because of how big it came. As Kisame looked down towards his blade, before he looked up towards Naruto. What are you? He said. Your worst mistake. As Naruto was gone, Kisame felt something in his stomach. The pain was abnormal. The next thing he knew, he was sent sailing. As Naruto stepped forward, the ninjas all moved towards him as Naruto's gaze focused on them. Their bodies froze in mid-air. Disappear, he said. The ninjas screamed as an unnatural force kept them rooted, but there was another force that started to peel their hands and legs back, snapping them because of the force until their necks snap as their bodies drop. Kiba was shaking to his core. What the hell? As he watches Naruto dispatch several ninjas with ease, Sahara couldn't believe what she was seeing. Sakura dropped her hands to her side. Was this real? Release, she said, trying to break any genjutsu that was over her. But there was none. How was he doing this? She knew that he had power, but this was insane. As they watch as the whole place around them change, the trees rustle. As a thick breeze came in, as it was so cold, they started to tremble. Kisame, 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 said Naruto. I've been itching for a good fight recently. I must say, to have one right here and now, I'm ecstatic. Kisame laughed. You caught me off guard, kid. That hasn't happened in a very long time, but I have to say, you intrigue me. Samehata is itching for more of that power. Samehata exploded out of the bandage as its mouth came out. She wants to feast upon your power, and I'm gonna let her, said Kisame as he launched forward. Kisame flashed behind Naruto. As Naruto turned and braced himself as the sword slammed into him, it ripped into his skin. As Naruto's head was thrown back, a vicious, deadly grin on his face. Now that's what I'm talking about. As Katsumi chuckled in Naruto's head. Most did not know this about Naruto, but despite being able to end his opponents within seconds most times, he enjoyed the battle. He loved to be wounded. Sometimes he thought that he was a masochist because whenever they were sleeping together, he always enjoyed the torturing part of their little sex games, as they would always make him happy, and she enjoyed doing them. But the worst part of it all was when he truly got caught up into a battle. Things tend to get destructively devastating. But it made him happy, so she enjoyed as she watched. Blood leaked from Naruto's hands as the blade had tore into him. Samehata's scales were rather sharp, but that made him just more exciting. As Naruto rocked forward and slammed head first into Kisame's stomach, the man gripped Naruto by his sides and lifted him off the ground, before brutally smashing him head first in the ground. Naruto rooted his head out of the earth and reached and grabbed Kisame by the throat as he twirled and slammed the man to a tree. Kisame grabbed onto Samehata as he slammed it into Naruto, launched him like a bullet as Naruto broke through several trees, before he came to a stop as he held out his hand. Fire gathered in the palms of his hand before he launched it forward. Kisame swiped as it was dissipated, as he flashed through hand sign, water style. Giant water streaming wave! He spewed a massive column of water that slammed into Naruto, only for the balloon to burst from underneath it as he was in mid-air. Take this, shark face, said Naruto. Wind style. Colossal. Explosion! The entire atmosphere and the water ball was dissipated as the wind came down with unnatural force, shredding everything. Kisame had to move as his left arm got shredded as he cried out in pain. Samehata instantly healed him because of all the chakra it had. As Naruto landed as he ducked under the swipe, one of the claws sliced him across the face. Kisame brought his heel up as it slammed into Naruto's nose, cracking it. Blood spurted from the blonde's nose as he pulled his head back with a crazy grin. Kisame grinned back at him as both of them grinned at each other, before Naruto moved and slammed his fist into the man's cap, shattering it completely. He then jumped up in the air and pulled his foot back as Kisame ducked, as he reached and grabbed Naruto's shirt and pulled him down, only for Naruto to bite his hand. Kisame cried out in pain as Naruto ripped the flesh out, as he backhanded Naruto as he crashed into another tree. As Naruto picked himself up, spitting the blood from his mouth and the flesh, as he wiped his mouth and licked his lips. Now that was fun. Surprisingly, you didn't taste like sushi, said Naruto. I guess you're more man than fish, aren't you? Kisame growled in anger as his hand started to heal. You're one dangerous brat, but I'm here to put you 6 feet under, and I never fail. Well, said Naruto, there's a first time for everything. How about we turn this up a notch, said Naruto, as he grabbed his shirt and ripped it off to show the black markings under his clothing. Should we help, said Kiba. As the sky became dark, an ominous feeling settled over the ear as Samihata started to squeak and squeak once again. As the chakra started to saturate the ear itself, Kisame felt it. As the power was just so abnormal, but the more powerful the Kisame opponents were, the more powerful he will get. But unknown to Kisame, he was fighting a literal god. Naruto raised his hand as he split the heavens. A thunderous amount of lightning came from the sky. "Oh shit," said Kiba as all of them flee back. As they were standing on top of water and that hit, they would get electrocuted as they moved towards the trees. Naruto glanced behind him, seeing that they were a distance away. As he smiled, the heavens squeaked as a thunder dragon in the air roared. A massive beast made from lightning. Kisame looked up. Despite the fear settling in, a wicked grin came on his face. "Give me all you got, kid," he said as he spread his arms, holding Samihata tight. "Have it then," said Naruto, as the dragon roared and came screeching from the sky. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next portion, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends, your social media platform, and also stay tuned for the rest of what ifs coming your way. Remember to go ahead and enjoy the final episode of What If Naruto Had the Deadliest Bloodline. And over in Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Infect Himself with a Virus. Well, final episode. And over in Anime King, I post a final episode of What If Naruto went insane with the bloodline. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy those, guys. But I'm more for now. See you guys soon. Peace.